So it just began, guys. Wow. A lot of
Wow.
people.
Hello, guys. Hello,
Hi,
YouTube.
everyone.
Hello. Welcome to Britzone.
Hi.
Hi. I see a lot of people coming here. So let me greet some of you. Maybe Latasha. Oh, it's been a long time. Hi, Latasha.
Halo, Kak.
Hi. So, how are you? It's nice to see you again.
Nice to see you too.
Wow, so welcome back to Britzone class. Yeah, hope you enjoy the class.
Yes, I will.
Yeah. Thank you for coming, Latasha. Okay, let's move to the other. I'll see like Rizky Sofian. Hi, Kak Rizky.
Hello.
Hi. So, how life's been treating you?
Oke, Mbak. Bentar, Mbak.
Okay.
Pardon.
Okay.
Pardon, sorry. Pardon?
So, how are you? How have you been?
Okay. Hi, I'm good. Thank you.
Are you first timer or?
Yeah, this is my first time to join Britzone.
Welcome. So what brings you here?
Yeah, I want to learn how to go being public speaking, and I want to get maybe a new learn something.
Oh, you're in the perfect place because Britzone is the perfect place for you to learn, especially for speaking English. So yeah. And how did you know Britzone?
Yeah, I know Britzone from Instagram.
Thank you, Instagram. Yeah, thank you for coming, Rizky.
Yeah, thank you.
So yeah, I wanna greet I think one again. So I just saw Kisty. Hi, Kisty. Wow, a lot of people here. Hi. So, are you first timer?
Hi.
Is it my?
Yes.
Oh,
It's my first time class.
Wow, welcome to Britzone. So, what's bring you here?
Yeah. At Britzone. Yeah. In time, I never speak English.
So yeah, welcome to Britzone, Kisty. Hopefully you enjoy the class, yeah.
Hello,
So,
here.
yeah, nice to meet you. So, guys, maybe before we start the class, maybe let me introduce myself. So, my name is Dela. So I'll be your MC for today's class. And before I start in the class, I have some important announcement. So let me share screen. So yeah, can you see the screen? Is it clear?
Yes, clear.
So guys, welcome to Britzone. So basically, for those of you who are not familiar with Britzone, so Britzone is the largest English community in Jakarta, in Indonesia, especially in Jakarta, that we have provides several classes in a week, and we have based on three value. Of course, we based on English education, and we free and open platform, so anyone can join without any charge. And this is free platform for you to learning. And we are here based on volunteerism as well. And yeah, we provide to you guys several classes in a week. The first one is Tuesday class, which is held on today. It's held hybrid, online and offline. It starts at 7 p.m. until drop. It focuses on enhanced speaking skill through wide range topic. And the second one is held on Thursday, Britzone Betterment series. It starts at 7 p.m. until drop. It's held online via Zoom meeting. So it's focused on 4 skill in English: listening, reading, writing, and speaking. And we also have Britzone Fun Day class that held on Saturday, offline at Kemendikbud Library. Start at 11 a.m. until drop, that bring various fun topics to discuss. And the last one, the newest class program, Britzone Outdoor Class. It's once a month on Saturday, so make sure you guys don't miss this special class. It's learning. It's this class. It's not. It's held on the outside, like in the park, in the cafe, so you can learning English with a fun activity outside the class. So we have we access in several platforms. The first one we have we access in Instagram, our main platform at Britzone. Please follow us, guys, because you can see our upcoming update there. The second one in YouTube, Britzone English Community. So we are here live streaming there. So hi YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe our YouTube because we have a lot of amazing content there. And we also available in Twitter, Clubhouse, website, and podcast. Oh yeah, because we free and open platform, so we need your support, guys, to buy our merchandise, such as t-shirt, tote bag, sticker, and notebook to support our financially or our funding. So you can contact the contact person on the screen for more information, yeah. And we're really grateful that we supported by amazing sponsor, Perpustakaan Dikbud. So you please, guys, you can sign up for becoming the member of Perpustakaan Dikbud to access impressive resources and the book collection, such as book collection or audio. And the last one, we have after class tradition, that is taking picture. So we can collect our memories and share it in our social media platform. And don't forget to give us your feedback for us to improve our class to be better. Okay. Okay, so guys, before we start, maybe maybe you got some idea what we're gonna discuss for today.
Oh yeah, it's about
Yeah.
slang and idioms.
Yeah, it's
So
about
excited.
it's about like slang and speaking like a native. So we have a special guest here. Our our special guests are here. It's like like Tom Holland.
Yeah.
Here. Yeah,
Welcome, Spider-Man.
that's right. So he just take day off from the busy schedule for conduct here. So thank you so much for the excitement. Okay, maybe without any further ado, I want to greet our special conductor, Sir Jack. Hi, Jack.
Hi, thank you. Great to meet everyone. I appreciate the kind words. I wish I was Spider-Man, but unfortunately I can't swing from the buildings, but I'm working on it. So maybe one day. So are you ready for me to get into the materials?
Oh
We all
yeah.
are.
Of
Of
course.
We all
All
are.
right.
Can wait.
Yeah, we're so ready.
Excited about the material. So yeah, maybe Jake, without any further ado, you can take time and screen is yours.
Awesome. Can you guys all see that?
Sure.
Yep.
Clearly.
Visible.
Awesome. So today I'll be covering the topic, speaking like a native. I want this to be informal, similar to the topic that we're discussing, slang and idioms. I'm not an English professor, so I'm going to do my best here, but I'll try to keep it conversational. And if you guys have any questions as I go along, feel free to chime in and ask away. So I'll start by giving a brief introduction on myself. So my name's Jack Matthews, not Tom Holland, unfortunately. I wish I was a movie star. I live in Charlotte, North Carolina. My current job that I do on a day-to-day basis is investment banking. So I'm an investment banking associate at a bank called Fifth Third. They're a pretty big, well-known bank here in America. And I'm based out of Charlotte. I went to college or university at Indiana University in the state of Indiana. And while I was there, I got a bachelor's degree in accounting and finance, and I also got my master's of business administration as well. As far as what I like to do in my free time, I love to travel. As you guys may or may not know, I'll get to that in a second, but I actually spent a couple months in Indonesia a few years ago. I also love American football, fitness, playing video games, and another thing I did when I was in Indonesia was that I got scuba certified, which was a ton of fun. So, how did I get connected to Indonesia? So, during my time at Indiana University, we were offered the opportunity to in another foreign country. So some of my classmates went to Europe, some went in various places in Asia. I was really interested in traveling to Asia. I had never been there before, particularly Southeast Asia. And so I asked my university if I could go to Jakarta, and luckily enough, they allowed me to do that. And the experience there was absolutely amazing. I learned a lot about your country. I was able to travel to other nearby countries. I also went to Bali, Singapore, Beijing, Tokyo, which was a pretty incredible experience for me, just because I know a lot of those areas aren't too far away from you guys, but it's quite far from home for me. So that was my Spider-Man far from home experience. But the experience was absolutely incredible. The Indonesian people were so great to us when we were there. And this is how I was first introduced to Nona, who was an incredible help when we were there. She was one of the better English speakers, I'd say, that I was interacting with. So she helped really cross the language barrier in a lot of cases when we were moving around down there. So now to get into kind of the meat and potatoes. So meat and potatoes, just getting right off the bat, that's an idiom itself. But I'll get into a little bit about what these things are and how we use them just here shortly. So slang and idioms are very similar. They're both forms of informal language. I would say that slang is a little bit more informal, while idioms can be used in a more formal setting. So here I've got a couple short definitions on slang and idioms, and I'm sure you guys are aware, but just humor me here, and we'll just work through these materials. I'm sure everything I'm telling you is not new information to you, but we're going to talk through it anyway. So slang is a type of language that consists of words or phrases that are regarded as very informal, are more common in speech than in writing, and are typically restricted to a group or a particular context or group of people. So slang is really characterized or identified by how informal it is. It's this constantly evolving method of speaking. A lot of times it's like shorthand when you're writing, but for speech. And it can be very group specific, meaning that, maybe the young people have their own version of slang, and the older people might be more familiar with slang that originated, 40 years ago or something like that. Whereas an idiom is a group of words that have a usage that means something that you cannot deduct from the actual words. So it's kind of a figurative method of speech. It's often fixed in structure, meaning that if I said one idiom to someone, they would know what it means, and you can't really mess with the words or else the meaning will not mean the same thing. And again, this is often unique to specific cultures. So I believe there are Indonesian idioms, and I think that those more often than not can be different than American idioms. So I would love to hear some of those examples from you guys, but we can get to that later. And I'll focus on the American versions for now to keep things moving. So a few examples of American slang today. This is just a very small subset. It's really quite an endless list. So if you're familiar with anything that you don't see on the list here, I mean, this is just, I don't know what, 8 examples out of probably hundreds of examples. So lit, that means something's exciting, excellent, or cool. So you can say, that party last night was so lit. That's pretty popular these days with the young people. I personally don't use that one too often, but it is popular. And it's also popular with the music scene. So like, as far as like American rappers go and that kind of thing, they use that kind of language a lot. Squad. So if you think of squad, you think of like a team, like maybe an army squad or a squadron, but you can refer to that just as like your close knit group of friends, or just a group of people that you're hanging out with together. So you can say, I'm going out with my squad tonight, or you could say, let's squad up and tackle this problem at work or something like that. And that one is also very common. I think a lot of people would know what you're talking about. FOMO. So FOMO is an acronym that means fear of missing out. Are you guys familiar with that? I think that one's pretty common. Awesome. Yeah. So this one also kind of exploded in popularity, I'd say, over the past 10 years, maybe. So it's been around for a little bit. It's kind of stood the test of time, and it's very popular. And I think that this one is one that kind of spans all generations, as far as from young people to older people. Like, I think even if I said the word FOMO to my grandma, she would probably know what it means. So it's not really age specific. I think anyone will know what you mean when you use that term. Chill. So that means, relaxed, calm, easygoing. So if you say, I just want to chill out, it kind of means you want to do nothing, you want to relax. So the example here is, let's just have a chill night at home and watch some movies. And yeah, I mean, that means just kind of relaxed, calm, easygoing. Whereas, on the flip side of that coin, you have wild. So that's used to describe something crazy, unpredictable, or exciting. So obviously, the traditional meaning of wild, you have wild animals, whatever it may be. Think of the wilderness. But this is used very often to describe kind of day-to-day activities. So I know there's a lot of party examples, but it is kind of applicable when you think about, how the kids and teenagers and college students are using these words. Unfortunately, there's a lot of partying references. But anyhow, so, you can say last night's party was wild, or maybe, something happens when you're driving and you see something crazy out your window and you go, oh, that was absolutely wild. Like, what was that I just saw? So it has a lot of flexibility in its use. And I'd say this one is very, very popular with, anywhere from, college through young adults. So maybe 15 years old to 30 years old. I think almost anyone would be pretty familiar with that. Savage is referring to someone who is fierce, brutally honest, shows no mercy. She roasted him with her savage comebacks. So there's actually 2 slang words. Roasted is also another slang word in there. And that means to kind of make fun of someone or tease them a lot. And yeah, so savage kind of means that, you know, you're, I guess, crazy. You're like an animal almost in the way that you're acting. And it's like saying, oh, that she was acting kind of crazy or something like that. I think that one's also pretty popular in the like more like pop, hip hop music scene. Cardi B, I don't know if you guys know her, but I think she has a song that she talks about savage, but we won't get into that. I don't know if that's really appropriate. So we'll just move on to the next one. Woke, that means being aware and informed about social and political issues. For example, he's really woke about environmental conservation. This one is very popular today in politics. So if you turn on the news, you can hear a lot about people saying like, oh, he's woke, she's woke. And more often than not, it's used as more of a derogatory term. So it's like when people say, oh, you're acting so woke, it means like you're kind of stuck up. You think you know more than everyone else, like, and you're trying to be too overly aware about your surroundings and too correct, to a fault. And that has come up a lot in politics as people talk about, you know, whatever it may be. There's a lot of controversial issues out there. And that's kind of where you see that. So you might see it on Fox News or CNN or any of those really bipolar news stations. I don't know if you guys are familiar with those, but obviously there's a lot of clashing of politics in the US, and that's where you'll see that. And it is a very popular term, and so much so that it used to be really targeting young people. But now, again, I think that this really spans all generations. And someone like my dad would be aware of what woke means just by, you know, having the news on every day. And then last but not least, sick, used to describe something that is cool, impressive, or amazing. For example, did you see that skateboard trick? It was sick. So yeah, it's another example of just saying that was really cool, or that was awesome. You could say that was sick. And maybe you guys have heard that one, but that one's also pretty popular, particularly in the younger generations. I'd say, you know, up to 20, 25 years old is where you'd see that. Any questions on these before I move on to the next page?
Well, I actually have one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So, what's the difference between lit and fire?
That is a great question. There is not much difference, to be honest. I would say they can be used almost entirely interchangeably. Yeah, they really, really, truly mean like the exact same thing. They're just two different versions of the same word. And they kind of, if you think about like the meaning behind them, they're kind of similar. Like lit, you know, it's lit, you can light a fire, kind of energy, that kind of thing. But yeah, they pretty much mean the same thing. So you could say that party last night was so fire, and it would mean virtually the same thing. And that one is also very popular. So I'm glad you brought that up.
Okay, thanks for the answer.
Yeah, no problem. All right, I'll flip to the next. So idioms, these are phrases, you know, that are a little bit more formal, but they're still an informal method of speaking, and they're an indirect method of speaking. So, you know, when you use these terms, you're not saying exactly what you mean, but at the same time, it's not impolite to use these terms for the most part. So I'll go through a few examples here, and I'll describe more about when it's appropriate to use these versus slang in an upcoming slide. But just for now, let's just talk about just a few examples. And again, this is just a small sample size out of, you know, however many there may be. I could never capture them all, even if I tried for a week to write them all down. There's always new ones popping up, and I just couldn't do it. So bite the bullet, to face difficult or unpleasant situations with courage and determination. For example, I have to bite the bullet and confront my fear of public speaking. Break a leg. I think that this is one of the most popular ones. I know Nona is familiar with this as she commented on the Instagram post, break a leg jack in advance of this presentation. So that's a way of wishing someone good luck. Obviously, that's quite the opposite of someone telling someone you actually want them to break their leg. So pretty interesting how those things work and where those things originate. Hit the nail on the head to accurately identify or describe the exact point or issue. So Sarah's analysis hit the nail on the head regarding the company's financial challenges. That just means that you did exactly what you wanted to do. So if you're thinking about swinging a hammer and it's easy to miss, but then you hit the nail on the head, it means that you did exactly what you set out to do. Let the cat out of the bag to reveal a secret or disclose information that was meant to be kept hidden. This is pretty similar to if someone were to say that they spilled the beans. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but that means you pretty much told someone a secret, something that you weren't trying to disclose. So here's the example. I wasn't supposed to know about the surprise party, but John let the cat out of the bag. So in this scenario, John ruined the surprise. Now the person that's getting celebrated is aware of their upcoming surprise party. Next up, we have piece of cake, something that's very easy to accomplish or complete. For example, don't worry about the exam. It'll be a piece of cake if you've studied. So, yeah, like if you're taking a test and it was incredibly easy, you can say, oh, that was a piece of cake. Or, you do something at work in your career and it was something your boss set out, like assigned to you, and like, oh, how was it? Like, was it hard for you? And you're like, no, it was a piece of cake. No problem at all. And then last but not least, under the weather, this just means that you're feeling unwell or sick. Like if you have an illness or like a cold. The example, I won't be able to come into work today. I'm feeling a bit under the weather. Yeah, so those are just a few examples. Again, we'll keep moving in the interest of time. So the origin and evolution of informal language. So idioms and slang have both originated from, a variety of sources, whether these are historical events, literature, some of these terms come from Shakespearean times, occupational terms, so they can arrive from like someone's job and what they do on a day-to-day basis, figurative language, whereas slang is even more informal. They come from, subcultures and countercultures, and these kind of really truly evolve over time. And of course, when you think of slang, you think of the youth culture, pop culture, media, music is a big source of slang. And then slang, I think, in my opinion, kind of trickles up from the bottom. So the younger generations are often the trendsetters in slang. And then it can work its way up until eventually you hear your parents using slang and you're like, oh, mom, please stop. You shouldn't be talking like that. You sound crazy or something like that. And the internet is really, really accelerating the use of slang in particular. Just the various social medias, everyone's on social media these days. And it's very easy to quickly consume content and quickly catch on to these new trends. So a few of the new terms in slang, GOAT, that means greatest of all time. Whack, salty, Gucci, thirsty, sus, simp, Riz. Some of these might sound foreign to you guys, and I completely understand, but I took a sample size from some of my friends and asked them what they thought the most popular ones these days are. And this is the short list that we came up with. And I won't go through all the meanings right now in the interest of time. I'll kind of keep moving here. So there is a scale of formality, and when is it appropriate to use these terms? So this is for you guys to reference, and this is, again, just a small sample size of however many examples there are here, and absolutely not all inclusive. So if you think you're going left to right here, from formal all the way to informal. So on the formal end, and I'll point out just a few things, this is where you're at the workplace discussing with your superiors, your boss. Maybe you're talking to an elder you meet at the grocery store or something like that. Someone that's older than you, you want to respect them. and conversations with other unfamiliar adults. So at the formal end of this spectrum, there's pretty much all idioms you can use. And then I've dropped in a couple examples of like office slang that we use on a day-to-day. So brainstorm, that means to come up with ideas. That is technically a slang term, but it's become so formal and normalized that no one would even bat an eye. Out of the loop means that you don't know what's going on. You're not familiar with what's going on. Game plan means to create a plan, how you're going to attack a problem, something like that. And then, we have the scale that moves up towards the informal end. And I'll kind of jump over there's some stuff that falls in the middle, in my opinion. And again, this is kind of my opinion, so I don't want you to take this as law. But I do think it's rather accurate to a certain extent. So, these middle ones you can be using when you're talking to your parents, that's an adult that you're pretty familiar with, you feel comfortable casually talking to, friends of friends, workplace peers, people that are your same age at the job. And then at the far end of the spectrum, you have the most informal, conversations with your siblings, whether you're talking to your brother or sister. And these are, your conversations with the closest friends. So lit, whack, dope, savage, sick, woke, these kind of fall in the informal. And then there are just, a few examples of profane or rude idioms that, I would only use in a highly informal setting, similar to like if you were to use a cuss word or something like that. Like you would never want to do that at work, but maybe there's a reason that you would do that, talking to your friends. So the example I hear is pardon my French. That's something people say oftentimes when they're actually about to cuss or they're about to use, a profane word. So they'll say, pardon my French, blah, blah, blah. And then they'll say something extremely inappropriate. So I'll keep moving. So here's an example of a conversation I'd have with my friends. So here's a nice picture of me at one of our local restaurant bars here in Charlotte with a couple of my buddies. This is just an example conversation. I don't know if this ever actually happened. I tried to incorporate a lot of slang and informality here. So this is not how I actually talk. This is kind of the extreme end of the spectrum. I'd say, hey, what's up, dude? Long time no see. How's life treating you? My friend responds, not too shabby, just grinding at work. How about you? Oh, grinding as well. It's been a bit hectic lately. I'm hanging in there. Any exciting plans for the weekend? Yeah, for sure. I'm thinking of hitting that new spot downtown. Heard it's lit with live music and killer vibes. Want to join? Absolutely. That sounds dope. Count me in. Got to let loose and have some fun after the long week. Thanks for the invite. No problem, bro. It's going to be wild. We'll party like there's no tomorrow. Can't wait. So obviously a lot of informality there. And yes, this is kind of an extreme example. There's a ton of slang here and maybe it wouldn't have that much on a day-to-day, but it's a good kind of vibe on how you can talk to your friends. And then a second example I have here is a conversation with your superiors. So like, this is an example if I was at work talking to my boss. So I'd say, good afternoon, Mr. Boss. I hope you're having a productive day. Good afternoon, Jack. Thank you. It's been quite busy. How can I assist you? I wanted to touch base with you regarding the upcoming deadline. We're working against the clock to ensure timely completion of the project. I appreciate the update, Jack. What's the current status? We're making steady progress, but we hit a slight snag due to unforeseen technical issues. However, we're determined to put our heads together and find a workaround to keep the project on track. So in this conversation, you'll notice pretty much no slang. There's no slang in here, but what there are a couple idioms. So working against the clock, put our heads together, on track, touch base. These are all idioms, and these would be completely okay to use in a workplace setting. Unlike slang, where I would never say, what's up, dude, to my boss, or that sounds dope to my boss. That would not be appropriate. He'd probably just laugh at me. So you want to avoid that. So moving back to, the workplace, there's a couple areas that you need to be aware of when you're thinking about using, informal language. And there's three main ones that I have identified here. The first is email messaging apps. So this is very common that people will email someone accidentally, or they're just not thinking, and they'll treat it like texting. So they'll be very informal, they might use shorthand in their email. And while there is a time when this is okay to do, for the most part, when you're talking to your superiors, you want to be more formal. You don't want to say something like LOL in your email. But sometimes, it's just based on gauging the individual, because, maybe there is a cool boss out there that would be okay with you talking in a little bit more of an informal tone. So you just kind of got to pick up on that over time. But for starters, it's always better to be safe than sorry and just remain formal. Another place is when you're going to the restroom or you're taking a trip to the water cooler. This is an issue when you're with your friends and you don't know who's around you and you're talking in an informal way, or maybe it can even become a little bit rude, not offensive, but just, you're being very informal. And so you just really need to be aware of how loud you're speaking. And for the most part, I again just recommend, staying formal in the workplace. You don't want to make a bad name for yourself. You don't want to embarrass yourself. So that's just something to be aware of. When you get up from your desk and you're going and walking through the hall or something like that, just be aware of your surroundings. You never know who can hear you or where someone's standing. And then the last one is work events or parties. So this is when you're outside of the office and, maybe you have a work sponsored dinner event and you're all sitting around the dinner table and people have a glass of wine or two. And then, it's easy to kind of forget your setting and forget who you're with. And it's important to remember, that you're still working for your company. This is your employer. And, maybe it's your boss sitting across the table. And so at those events, it's important to remember. And again, there might be a certain level of informality that is acceptable, but you just got to gauge it on a case-by-case situation. And in every situation, I'd say it's almost better to be safe than sorry. And these can have, if you do slip up, there can be quite a few negative impacts to you, to your perception. So first of all, miscommunication. If you're trying to use slang and someone doesn't know what you're saying, that's obviously an issue. You can be perceived as not professional, so having a lack of professionalism. If you use too much informal language, can be a lack of clarity. This also aligns with, miscommunication. So it's hard to be very precise when you're using informal language, as opposed to using just formal, direct sentences. And then, of course, there's times where it could be offensive or insensitive, and you never want to offend anyone, especially in the workplace. That can cause a whole host of issues. They might bring in their HR team, and it could put you at jeopardy of losing your job. So if you're talking, too informal and you say something that you shouldn't have, or you offend someone, it can cause major issues. All right. So now that's it for the presentation portion. I've prepared a few questions for you guys to discuss in your breakout rooms. I don't know. I'll tip it to the Britzone team for the best way to do this. I don't know if you want me to go through these questions or if you're just going to provide them to them in the breakout sessions, or how this will work.
So yeah, wow. Before we will move, give a round of applause, guys, for Jack. Wow.
Thank you.
That's a great presentation. So I just wondering, I just look that is it important in order to level up our English to enhance our knowledge about slang and idiom that usually native use every day, right?
Yeah, I do think it is important to a certain extent. I think it is not as important as getting the core skills down. Obviously, you have to have a very strong understanding of the English language before you can really loop in this other factor that is slang or indirect speaking and idioms. So I do think it's important, of course, like if you're able to use these terms in your day-to-day, in the appropriate way, I think you would be like, anyone would be very, very impressed to see that, you know, you're familiar with how this works and the appropriate time to use it. So if you are looking for absolute mastery of the language, I do think it's important, but not as important. And I think it should kind of take the back seat to learning the core skills.
Yeah, I do agree. So yeah, thank you for that. That was a late presentation. So
Thank you. Thank you.
Is it correct that I'm just trying to use a slang?
Yeah, that was perfect. That was absolutely perfect.
Yeah,
That was great.
I feel like this is a great time. We will like move to the FGD session, but yeah, I think it was an insightful material or the topics for us. I'm sure that a lot of us have many questions to ask to you, but before we jump to the Q&A session, we will move to forum group discussion. That is Jack already prepared the discussion topics, and before that again, we will have like photo session. Yeah, so maybe the host can help me to take a screenshot of our class today.
Okay. All right. So we're going to take a picture, guys. So please prepare your best pose. Okay. And we're going to take a screenshot for each slide. So, and there are 3 slides here. And I'll be starting in 5 seconds. All right. Prepare and get ready for the slide 1. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. Next slide, slide 2. Get ready. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Okay, maybe once again, Farhan.
So two round it.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll be taking the third slide first, and then we'll go back to the first slide. Okay. All right. Slide 3. Get ready. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. Okay, we'll be back to the first slide again. And please, if you want to, you can open your camera. That will be the best. So we'll give you a chance here, okay, for the second round. Okay, slide 1 again. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay.
Okay,
back for you,
Farhan. Thank you for helping. And now, yeah, we can move to the forum group discussion. And this is the perfect time for you to be the bullet and practice your English, especially speaking skill. Yeah. So we have here we have like great facilitator that I can mention one by one because it's too many here. Because your enthusiasm. So thank you so much. And yeah, see you in the main room in 25 minutes, guys. Bye.
Bye. Thank you, Della.
See you in the main room again, guys. Wow.
Farhan, you might want to make me a co-host.
Okay. Wait.
So yeah, maybe for the conductor, Jack, and maybe can like take some rest, yeah, in this session. Yeah, if you wanna get some rest, that's fine for this 25-minute FGD session. So yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. So Kanona,
Hello.
time and screen is yours.
Okay, hello everyone. Hi Britzoners. Halo Kak Amanda, Kak Reza. How are you guys?
Great.
Amanda. Hello, Amanda, you still muted.
Hello, yes.
Hey, how are you? I'm fine, thank you.
Wow, great. So,
Do I supposed to be in here? I'm like not in the breakout room.
yeah, in here we are in
Oh,
breakout room,
already,
but
alright.
we are in main room.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. All right, all right.
Kak Dina and
Thank you
Gabriel,
very
you
much.
can join.
Sorry, is this
Okay.
Q&A session? Is this?
Yeah, this is FGD session, so we can exercise our speaking, our ability to speak. Yeah. So before we jump to the question, let's get to know each other. My name is Nona, and I'll be the facilitator for this group. And maybe Kak Amanda, could you please introduce yourself?
Yes, of course. Hi, everyone. I'm Amanda. It's actually the second time that I joined the Britzone meetings, virtual meetings. I have joined one offline meeting in Kemdikbud, yeah, and Kemdikbud library. And yeah, so nice to join again to exercise or to have a speaking exercise in here.
Wow.
Thank you.
Welcome back, Kak Amanda. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Halo, Kak Dika Narendra. Halo, Kak. Halo, Kak Dika. Kak Reza, maybe. Halo, Kak Reza. Could you please introduce yourself?
I'm here.
Halo, Kak Reza.
Bro Dika is answering.
No.
All right, okay. My name is Reza. I'm from Bekasi. I think, if I'm not mistaken,
Halo. Wow, there is some internet issue maybe. Maybe we, Kak Dika. Kak Dika, halo Kak Dika. Where is Kak Dika? Kak Asep maybe? Halo Kak Asep. Halo Kak Asep. Oh, maybe Kak Brian. Kak Brian, could you please introduce yourself?
Hello. So yeah.
You're mute.
Okay, my bad. so yeah.
Maybe you are too excited, yeah.
So it's really interesting session, yeah. We have Kak Jack as a conductor. It's very inspiring. And yeah, let me introduce myself. So my name is Brian Aziz Ibrahim. You can call me Brian. And like Kak siapa tadi? Oh yeah, I'm from Bekasi. Oh yeah.
Ah, from Bekasi, Kak Reza.
I forgot. Where is he? Oh yeah. I'm currently from Bekasi, and yeah, I really love to join this session because I want to know more about the idioms and slang in English.
Wow.
So yeah.
Yeah, thank you for coming, Kak Brian. Hello, Kak Dika. Maybe you have trouble connection. Kak Dika. Okay. Kak Dina, could you please introduce yourself?
Hello, everyone.
Hi.
My name is Nina. I'm here as a participant with Kak Brian as well. I'm also from Bekasi, Hidup Bekasi.
Thank you for coming, Kak. Okay, let me share screen. Can you see my screen now?
Yes,
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Wait. So let us answer one by one question. Who do you want to go first? Maybe Kak Amanda. Do you want to answer question number one?
Okay.
Can you
Let
think
me
of?
read. Let me read first.
Okay.
Oh, of course. When
So
we talk
the
with our friends, maybe,
yeah.
or maybe I don't know, yeah, but I feel like some foreigners or the one who comes from English speaking countries used to speaking more about idioms, using more idioms in their conversations than us Indonesians, maybe, yeah, in Indonesian language. So I think that we can exercise our idioms and explain or uh, strengthen our understanding about idioms when we speak to our friends in informal setting.
Yeah. Do you know how many idioms that you know?
Oh, I can think of any right now, but maybe
Many or just a few? Because I don't know many. Maybe just a few. Because it's quite hard to remember. Hello, Kak Amanda. She's disappeared. So many people has trouble connection. Maybe we can.
just here ya with the planet Bekasi people, Kak.
Yeah.
And Kadika is here.
Kadika, how about your connection? It's already good. Kadika, hello. I
Perhaps
think Kadika is in Bekasi as well.
no. It's the same bee, but he's in Bali. Kind of different.
Okay. Maybe Kadina wanna ask for the question number 1.
Wanna answer?
Can you think of any situation where using slang might be appropriate? I think if we use slangs when we are talking to a friend, I think we can be more blanket, right?
Okay. You can be more closer to them. Oh, you can. You can be closer to them.
Yeah,
Is that what you mean?
Yes. It has a certain vibe to it. Like it makes you seem a lot, what is it, friendly. I feel like that. And also sometimes I do that a lot because I work in manufacturer company. I've got quite a lot of employees that is in the same age with me. Sometimes they being too formal, I feel like, and sometimes I use slang with them, and it can, it makes the vibe more bearable to them.
So you're using slang with your friends?
Yeah.
What kind of slangs do you use?
Not necessarily. If it's in English, I sometimes use lit, sick, wild. What else?
Dope,
Dope. Yeah, savage. We already.
But is it quite what is it?
We called you savage once.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Kadina, for the answering the question. Maybe I wanna ask to Kadika. I'm just wondering, Kadika. Kadika.
Hi, sorry I've got connection problem, guys.
That's okay, Kak. Maybe you are in Bekasi right now?
I'm in Bali. I have been here for 1 year.
Because the connection problem is always happen to Bekasi. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Okay, Kadika, could you please introduce yourself?
All right. Yeah.
Great.
Gratefully, my connection has become better. I'm Dika Narendra. I am the former Britzone committee. I've been here for around 4 years.
Welcome
Yeah.
back to Britzone.
Yeah, this is it's kind of my second home. Yeah.
Ah. Okay, Karika, thank you for your introducing. So please answering question number 1.
All right. Can you think of any situations where using slang or idioms might be more appropriate or effective than using formal language? Explain your reasoning. Yeah, definitely, because especially not in a formal condition. Yeah, like you meet your friends, your colleague, not in a formal way, by using slangs or idioms. Yeah, it will give you impression that you have been closer with them. You yeah, it's kind of, you know them for a long time, and there is no stiffness between you and the society, with other people that you are talking to, that you make a conversation with.
Yep. Actually, same like Karina said that, when we use a slang or idioms, we can be closer to them, right? And do you use it often, Kadika? Do you use it slang or idioms often in your daily life?
Quite often, yeah, because me in Bali, every weekend I go to the beach, for healing, for relaxing, and in that beach I often communicate with the foreigners.
Wow.
Yeah, by using idioms or slangs. Yeah, they will appreciate us because it signs the hospitality of the local, of the Indonesian.
So we can use it as a form of hospitality. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you, Kadika, for your opinion. Maybe I want to hear from Kak Brian.
Oh yeah. What is it again?
Question number 1, please.
In my circle, maybe. I often use the slang for the casual communication in our circle. So I think because it's very because we already know each other, and we know that, especially for joking, maybe we put that one jokes or something, and we want to respond that, we just use slang, because we already we are friends, and we know that in that situation it's very casual, not formal. So yeah, that's it.
Okay, thank you, Kak Brian. So do you use it quite often? I mean, for idioms, if it is slang, we can use it with our friends. But for idioms, do you use it?
For idioms, not likely. I'm a literally person. I mean, like, I can explain something in my way, so I rarely use the idioms.
Okay, thank you, Kak Brian. Okay, Kak Dika, maybe you wanna answer number 2?
Yeah, for number 2. This is my experience. Yeah. In what ways can the use of slang and idioms enhance or hinder effective communication between native and non-native speakers of language? Share any personal experiences. Especially for me personally, I often communicate with with the foreigners who maybe in English is not their actual mother tongue, yeah, but by speaking to the foreigners, if you understand more of non-formal words, you'll be appreciated. And sometimes I'm praised by them that, oh, your English is so good. And also it kills the paradox, I guess, because when we see bule with apostrophe, we assume they are excellent in English, but it's not always going like that, because you have to know the nationality of them, because not all countries with white persons they are speaking English well. So by using slang, it signs that you are friendly with them and they feel more comfort with you, because it's kind of, there is no rigidity between your conversation. It's kind of, you have broken the ice.
Okay. And have you ever experienced that when you say something about slang or idioms but your partner doesn't understand what you mean? Have you ever experienced that?
Oh, I have. Especially
Foreign people?
For foreign people, because as I've said before, not all foreigners are excellent in English, even though they have become the tourist, the foreign tourists in Indonesia. So generally we assume they have been brave to get out from their own country, to other country, to non-English speaking country like Indonesia. They are good in English, but the fact is not like that.
Okay. I didn't know that. Okay, thank you, Kadika. How about you, Kadina? It looks like you really wanna answer question number 2.
No, not really. Effective communication between native and non-native speakers. Unfortunately, I think I've never communicated with native speakers, but I think I've once or twice maybe, like my friends didn't understand what I said because I used idiom, but then I can't really recall what the idiom was. So yeah, I guess the answer is between yes or no, because I think we don't really use idioms often here, since we are also still, trying to speak English. And yeah, we're still trying, I guess. That's my answer.
Okay, thank you, Kadina, for your answer. Gabriel, maybe you wanna answer number 2?
Yeah. So I have experience on this occasion of use slang and idioms, especially when I try to practice my English with my friends, Indonesian friends, and she used the idioms. I'm totally have no idea what it is. What does it mean? So I need to open. I need to Google it. What does he try to deliver? So yeah, we need to learn the idioms. We need to know first. That is why I joined this class, because I want to know so many type of idioms. So yeah, I think you need to know that if you want to use the slang or idioms, like Dika said, that not all of the foreigner can understand you, can understand your idioms. So be careful. Not be careful. Just you need to know that. You need to know the condition that or your partner of discussion first, and then you can use that. So you cannot use it freely. You need to know that the communication already maybe it's a casual or something, and the other person is the native English speaker maybe. So it's okay. You can drop the idioms, but if you doubt that he or she cannot understand you, so it is better that you don't use the idioms.
Okay, thank you,
Agree.
Gabriel. Yeah, hopefully after this we can use idioms more often, especially in our office or daily activities. Yeah, if it is slang, I think it's easy to use it slang, especially for to speak to our friends. But for idioms, yeah, we can practice it from now on.
Yeah, especially on social media. Maybe you can respond your story, your friend's story, IG story or
Create a
something.
caption ya.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Idioms.
Wow, that's a good idea, Kadela.
Yeah. Maybe it's so lit or something.
Or break a leg, yeah. I try
Break a
to
leg.
use
Break a leg, a piece of cake. It's
slang
easy.
or yeah.
I think only both of only those that I know about idioms.
No
A
worries,
piece of
no,
cake.
Spill,
because
spill.
yeah,
Spill the
it goes with
tea.
the
Oh
time, right?
yeah.
Spill the
Will
tea.
Spill the
enhance.
tea.
Yeah, only a few, not many. But yeah, we have to try. We have to
Enhance,
force
yeah.
ourselves. Yeah. Okay, we have Kak Tiara. Halo Kak Tiara. Halo Kak Tiara.
Hello.
Hi Kak Tiara.
I'm so sorry that I can't open my camera.
Oh, that's okay. That's okay. Could you please introduce yourself?
What details that I have to tell about myself?
Maybe your name, and then you live, and then is this your time join Britzone?
Yeah, is it my first time to join this Zoom?
Wow, how did you know?
Welcome.
What?
How did you know Britzone?
My friends told me about Britzone on Instagram, so I tried to follow their Instagram, and then I saw that now the Britzone I have a Zoom, and I tried to register yesterday.
Wow, thank you Instagram, and thank you for joining Britzone Tuesday Class.
But I'm so late. I'm so sorry.
That's okay. That's okay. I wanna ask, do you use slang or idioms in daily your life?
Sometimes that I use a slang or idioms, but it's not really often, because that mostly the people from Indonesia cannot understand about our idioms or slang. Mostly that I use about the slang or idioms, it's to make me remember. If I just like try to find it from readings, and I try to find my activity that's connected with the idioms, I will use it, but for the daily, no.
Okay, as long as we practice it, yeah, that's okay. Okay, thank you, Ka, for your answering and for your opinion.
Okay.
Our FGD session, I think it's already finished. Back to MC.
MC, we needed more time.
All right. So yeah, thank you, Kanona, for handling the FGD session in the main room. Yeah, I just like anticipate that you will say that we need more time. So yeah, the
We
time
do.
is up. So we will move to the next session. But before we move, how was the discussions, guys? Is it great?
That was
No,
great.
We need more
Oh, lit.
time.
It
we
was
need more
lit.
time. We need more time. We haven't discussed all of the questions.
More time.
We just
Line
discussed
after
3 of them.
FGD. Yeah.
We
It
chilled,
was late. It was late.
As always, we
Yeah.
will.
I need
Yeah.
to add billing.
Yeah. The FGD time is never been enough, yeah, for you guys.
I will set paket gadang for the FGD.
That feeling.
So yeah, guys, how was the discussion? Is it great?
Was
Yeah.
Really?
It was late.
But
I love
it's
it. More
not
time,
enough.
please.
It's a lead. We need more time,
It
please.
lovely.
If you need more time, please like come to the next class. Yeah, we still have like Thursday and Saturday. So yeah, I just like promoting the other class. So yeah, so let's. I want to know like for those of groups. I think I wanna ask Dian's group. Hi, Dian.
Hello there.
How was the discussion in your
It
group?
was legit. I must say it was fun. We had a lot of fun talking about idioms and slang words in Bahasa Indonesia and English. So without further ado, I would like to call I hope is still here or she's still here. Sorry. Mia. Hi Mia, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Hi, Mia. Would you please tell us what we've been talking about in the focus group discussion?
Okay. Last discussion is very fun and yeah, you are very great to organize and to become our speaking partner. And we discussed about slang word and I got unique words from Nilam. Pulu pulu is very fun thing. And yeah, the discussion with Nilam and Dian it's fun and make me enjoy. I need more time to practice in English. Yeah, we do. We learn idiom and yeah, that's it.
That's all, Dian and Mia.
Yeah. We're actually talking about idioms and also slang words in Bahasa Indonesia. Because not only in English, but also in Bahasa Indonesia, because as Jack said earlier, that language is constantly evolving. So that word pulu pulu, it's also a new word to me, even though it exists in among Bekasian people or Jabodetabek people. They said they always use that. I don't know what that means. Literally, I don't know. And I shared the word chapu to them. It was also kind of new to me because I've been, outside Indonesia for quite a long time. So I need to learn some new words from my fellow Indonesian friends.
So yeah, pulu pulu. So
Pulu
it's
pulu.
great. Pulu pulu.
Yes, pulu
I
pulu.
just heard that, but
Yeah,
I
I
catch
think we all need
the
to
meanings
Google
of
that.
that word. Yeah. Wow, that was dope. Thank you for sharing, Dian and Mia. Okay, so next maybe I want to hear from Kak Gozian. Hi.
What up?
How was the discussion there?
Oh, we have quite we have shared a lot of experience about using slangs and idioms in our daily life, especially at work.
So who wanna be the representative of your group, from your group?
Okay, there were three actually, Rizky and Riris and Reza, but Reza was out of stage. And we'll go to Riris. Riris, you ready? Oh, Riris. Okay, Rizky. Yup.
Hello. Yeah,
Hey.
it was very excited because this is my first time to join this sharing session and to discuss with other people, and I hope I will join again to the next discussion.
Oh, that's all?
That's it.
Anything else you want to share?
That's it. Thank
Okay,
you.
thank you, Rizky. So yeah, thank you for sharing. So yeah, please come again to the next class because we have a lot of class for you to speaking, to practicing speaking. So yeah, thank you for sharing, Kak Gozian and Kak Rizky.
You're
Okay,
welcome.
maybe we can move to the last groups. I will go to Kak Nisa. Hi, Kak Nisa.
Hello, Miss MC.
Hi.
Hello.
So
Hello.
how was the discussions there?
Oh, was late.
Wow. You just
So I have three Britzoners in the group, Ka Chahya, Ka Hairullah, and also Ka Zain. So the representative will be Ka Zain. Please, Ka Zain.
All right, thank you, Kanisa. I was so happy being there in FGD session, and this is actually my third time to be here. And yeah, Kanisa told us and engage us, catch us in different ways how we should discussion for the topics about idioms and slang also. And I got the Jakarta slang also from Kak Cahya. The word was endus and endul. Yeah.
what the mean of endus?
The meaning is
delicious or
very
enak.
delicious. Yeah.
Okay.
I know it. The word, the idiom of Jakarta's worked when I shared in the FGD session at that time. And yes, idiom and slang would be so really what is it, the different ways how you should communicate to another people actually. And it was interesting. Thank you.
Wow. I'm sure your group, Kak Nisa, will have like a great discussion. They're like, yeah, as you
That's
say,
why
it
we needed more
it
time.
was lit, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
More time, please, for the
Yeah,
next.
more
Okay.
time, please.
In
Back
the
to
next
you,
class,
Miss
yeah.
MC.
Okay, thank you, Kak Nisa and Kak Zain. So yeah, thank you for sharing your discussion from your group. So because due to the limited time, we will move to the next session, which is Q&A, and I'm sure that you guys have a question to ask to our conductor, Jack. So if you have a question, please raise your hand. Okay.
Oh, we have to.
Okay.
Ready?
Okay, we have Kak Reza, Kak Yasrin, and Kak Tina. So I'm sorry, I wanna priority the participant first ya Kak Fasil. Please give them space, okay? So yeah, maybe Kak Tina, you wanna ask to our conductor?
Hi, Kak Dela.
Hi.
Sorry, I turn on my camera because I'm not good look today because I'm sick. So,
Sure.
I have question to our speaker. Actually, for me, it's kind of difficult to learn the idioms because I think so many new idioms out there. So my question is, do you guys learn the idioms at school maybe, or is it just originally formed by the society? That's my first question. And do you think there will be any new idioms in the future? That's my second question. Sorry. And my third question, what is your suggestion to learn idioms or slang words? That's all. Thank you.
Okay, so yeah, Jack, you can directly answer Katina questions.
Those are great questions. So the first one was, I think, sorry, what was the first question again?
All right. The
How-
first question is, do you guys learn the idioms or maybe slang at school? Or
Yes.
is it just originally formed by the society?
Yeah, so we don't really learn them at school. There's no class on idioms, at least not in my experience. So really, I think most of the learning does just come in kind of your day-to-day conversations, as
Okay.
well as, just the things around you, whether it's, watching a TV show or listening to music or a podcast or something like that. So you really just kind of pick up on them over time, and it does take time, and there are a lot of things to know, and there's a lot of weird parts about the English language, and this is just one of them. So unfortunately, no, we don't really learn them, probably because it's not a super formal way of speaking, but you do pick up on them just in your day-to-day life. And then moving to your second question, do I think there's going to be new idioms? Absolutely. I think that it's always evolving. There's always going to be new terms that come around. As far as what those actually are going to be or what the term is going to be, I have no idea. It could be anything. And as you guys know, they can come from a variety of sources. So whether that's, the latest movies or whatever it may be, or a new profession, I'm not sure the next turn that the English language will take, but I am sure that it will continue to evolve, and there'll be new terms that everyone's going to have to learn at some point. And I'm sure the evolution will be slow as things start to pick up steam and they become more popular over time. And as far as what you can do to learn, I think the best way is just to kind of engage in pop culture if you can, watch TV shows. And when you're doing that, if you're aware of what you're looking for and you hear these terms you're not familiar with, I'm sure you guys all know context clues. And if you can learn like how they're used in a sentence and what the framing is around the term itself, you might not be extremely familiar with the term, but you can kind of get the gist of it, and you can realize what it might mean. And then, maybe you write it down and then you go do some research later, or use Google and kind of figure out the true formal definition. But at that moment, if you're talking to someone and they say something you're not too familiar with, you might be able to use the context clues to kind of craft a response that would still make sense, even if you're not 100% confident in what they just said to you.
All right. Thank you for your answer.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so yeah, Kak Tina, is it answer your question?
Yeah.
So,
Thank you
yeah,
so much.
Okay, yeah, I do agree
Awesome.
with Jack. Yeah, I do agree with you, Jack. I mean, like, by the time goes by, especially the world will develop by the digital things, right? The slang it will be like a revolution as well, right? It will
Right.
come the new slang by the time come on in the future, right? Okay,
Exactly.
so
Yeah, it's always changing.
yeah. Okay, thank you for the answer, Jack. Maybe we can next to the Kayasrin.
Do I still have a space?
Sure. I give
Okay.
you space.
Thank you very much, Kak Dela. So, hello, Mr. Jack. My name is Yasrin, and I just, I'm trying so incredible hard to sound like a native speaker. So, I watch a lot of video from Instagram, like, do you know the video, like, instead of saying mirror, you can say mirror, kind of that thing. So my question is, is that true? We need to connect the word or speak fast to sound like a native speaker, or we need to have a good pronunciation. So that's all my question. instead of learn about slang or idiom word?
I don't think you need to speak fast to sound like a native. Everyone has a different style in the way that they speak. There's no one dialect or one way of speaking that is purely native. I think that, first of all, I'm super impressed with everyone on this Zoom call. You guys all sound great. I'm looking at the chat and I'm pretty shocked at how familiar you are with all of these terms and how you know all up to date in the latest terms. But I don't think you need to speak fast or even really. I think it's really just about your ability to communicate, and pronunciation is important. And I think that might be the most important part, is the pronunciation. If you're in a conversation and you know how the words are supposed to sound, I think that's more important than the speed at which you speak. And that'll help people understand you better than if you were to just change your style of speaking. So that's my personal opinion.
Okay, because I watch a lot of video that teach me how to sound like a native speaker. We need to speak fast. We need to connect the word. Because
Yeah.
it's a little bit hard to remember all the word, like the slang on idiom. Thank you for the answer, Jack.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so the important thing, like our opposite, understand what we said, right?
The pronunciation, maybe.
Yeah. Okay, so let's move to Kak Zain because we have limited time. Kak Zain?
Yeah, thank you,
Okay, yeah.
MC, Miss Dela. And Jack, my question is about, can we implement an idiom or slang in a formal situations like facing a speaking test like IELTS or TOEFL? And is there any differences between the idiom styles in a British or American accent? And how can we make it? Thank you.
I think so. I lost a little bit of connection at the beginning of your question. Can you repeat the first part?
All right. For the first part is, can we implement an idiom or slang in a formal situations like facing a speaking test in a TOEFL or IELTS? And is there any difference between the idiom or slang in British or American styles? And how can we make it?
Yeah, I think that you could incorporate idioms in particular. I think that idioms are formal and that you could definitely use that in a formal situation or like a speaking test or something like that. Slang, I'd say not as much. These are the terms that are switching all the time, and they're a lot more informal in my opinion. So I would probably try to avoid those. And again, not everyone will always know what these terms mean. It depends on who you're speaking to. If you're talking to someone that's a little bit more elderly, they might not be familiar with terms like lit or fire or goat or something like that. Whereas they might be familiar with, I know they would be familiar with saying something like break a leg, or if you tell them, you're feeling under the weather when you're not feeling too well, and that kind of thing. So I would say probably stay away from the slang in that scenario, but I think idioms would be good to go.
Okay, is it answer your question, Kak Zain?
Yeah, for the second question, is there any differences between the British and American style for doing the idiom or slang?
Yes, I think that there is a difference. So you said British or American style?
Yeah,
Was that your question? Yeah, I think that there are definitely differences. I'm obviously an American speaker, so I don't know a whole lot, but I know I have, one friend that's from the UK that lives here in Charlotte with me. And he has his own ways of speaking and stuff that he says that I quite frankly don't understand what he's saying. And he has his own terms. So there's definitely nuances and slight differences between the speaking styles. So unfortunately, yes, there is a difference. Just more to learn, I guess. But yeah, to answer your question, there's definitely differences.
All right. Thank you, Jack. Noticed.
Okay, thank you for the question, Kak Zen. So let's move to the last questions. Yeah. So Kak Fake and Kak Denny, if you wanna soon ask the question, you can hit Jack in Instagram, right? So yeah, maybe Gandhi, you can ask the question for the last participant.
Check. Am I audible?
Yeah, you're clearly audible.
All right, amazing. So, hello, Mr. Jax. My question is that, is there any idiom or slang phrases that are, well, physically different but have the same definition and meaning to each other? And how can we get unconfused from them? So, like, for example, we maybe get a bit confused on those two words. So how do we overcome those confusion?
Yeah, that is a great question. So there's absolutely words or phrases, whether it's slang or idioms, that can mean the same thing. And I'm gonna blank on pulling up a bunch of examples off the top of my head, but absolutely there are occasions where that can be an issue. And like, for example, when we talked about, lit versus fire, those virtually mean the same thing, just two different ways of saying in slang, something's really cool or awesome. As far as how you can avoid confusion, that's a tricky one as well. I don't know if there's a cure for that, or like a very clean-cut solution to avoiding that or learning the differences. But I would say just the more that you can, experience it or surround yourself with these terms, you'll start to pick up over time what they mean. And unfortunately, I don't think that there's, a book or a guide that you can reference. I mean, maybe there is online somewhere. You can, Google what the most popular slang terms in America are today, and you can get a list, and with the appropriate definitions, you might say, okay, these two things mean the same thing. But I think the best way is just to surround yourself with this language as much as you can, whether that's looking at American social media accounts or something like that, whether it's on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, whatever. And then you can slowly over time start to realize how these things are used. And that's probably the best way to learn. And unfortunately, it's not as easy as studying out of a textbook, but I think that's probably the best way to go about it. But great question.
Oh yeah.
Right, thanks, sir.
I have another question.
So Denny, you can. Okay. So is it the last participant, the question again? Yes, especially Denny. So if you have a question, maybe you can hit the Instagram of Kajek.
Yep.
Okay. I'll give like the last chance of Denny. Sure.
I give you one chance, all right? So, hello Jack, comment ça va aller? Comment allez-vous? This is the French word, I think. What are the things of that word, of the slang word that I can have it only for examples. So for examples, for this slang, for those three slang words, the slang word. I gotta hit the bag. I gotta hit the sack. You gotta quit that coffin snail. It means for a cigarette, ciggy, if you don't mind. And the third, YOLO, you only live once. So it's not gonna happen for you only live twice. So, which is the slang words that using for the with the Americans, British, Australians, Canadians, and also overall the rest of world, including for New Zealandish peoples, peoples that use English word for that say the people saying about that.
So Denny, you can straightforward if you have a question, I guess, because we only into 2030.
Okay, guys, I think I can help out with Dennis' question. I think what Danny meant was when do you can use those three slangs, like the stack. What is it? Do you guys remember?
Yeah, hit the sack.
Hit the
You
stacks.
only live once.
You only live once, and also gotta quit something. Jack, is the question understandable?
Yeah. So hit the sack. What you say when you're ready to go to bed. So if it's getting late and you're at your friend's house and you're ready to go home, you're getting tired, you can tell them, hey, I gotta hit the sack. I have to be up early tomorrow morning. So it's time for me to hit the sack. And that really just means go to bed. I don't know where that term came from, but that's what that means. YOLO, you only live once. So that means if you're going to do something, a little different, maybe even a little dangerous, something that you don't typically do, you say YOLO, you only live once. That means that I only have one life and I want to take advantage of it. And I'm going to do something kind of crazy. So like, for example, you could say, I'm going to go skydiving, YOLO, you only live once. I'm going to do this crazy thing that I only get one opportunity in the history of my own life, to do this thing. So that's where you'd use that one. And then the third one, I'm not sure I caught it. So something about quitting or something.
Yeah, gotta quit. For example, like Stig.
Yeah, I'm not too familiar with that one. So I mean, gotta quit, I think it's just, just means you have to stop doing something. So if you are talking about cigarettes, if you say I gotta quit those, it means you gotta stop doing them. You wanna cut that out of your life. That would be my best guess personally, but I'm not too familiar with an idiom around that or a slang term around gotta quit.
All right. So yeah. So if I'm so tiring and I'll hit the sack, is it still connect? Yeah. Is it still understandable? Yeah. Is it correct, Jack?
Yeah. It's to say what? I gotta hit the sack or.
Yeah, I'm so tired. So after this, I will hit the sack.
That's perfect.
Yeah. Okay.
Perfect.
So, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly right.
Okay, so we jump into the last sessions, which is the closing statement. Jack, thank you so much for answering the participant questions. Okay, so maybe you have a closing statement before we finish the class.
Yeah, for sure. I just want to say thank you to everyone for tuning in here and listening to my lesson here on slang and idioms. I'm extremely impressed with everyone on this call. I didn't know what to expect coming in here and how fluent and proficient you guys would be in English. I was just reading through the chat that I have not seen since I've been sitting here, and the amount of familiarity you guys have with all these terms and how accurate you are in using them is very impressive. It's awesome. I mean, you guys sound like my closest friends in the chat here, so that's really cool to see. But then just to close it out, if you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out to me via Instagram. I'm happy to answer anything I can. So don't be a stranger. I'm happy to help in any way I can, and it's really been truly a pleasure to meet with you guys today.
So yeah, the class with the slang, speaking like a native, and the topic is slang and idiom, that was so lit, yeah, Jack. So yeah,
Thank you.
Thank you so much. So I think so slang and idiom, in order to level up our English, we have to like gain the knowledge to understand like the slang and how to practice it in English. Yeah. So yeah, thank you so much, Jack, for giving a time for conduct in our class. We really appreciate. So yeah, guys, we finally in the last session, and thank you so much for coming to the class. And don't forget, if you have a question, you can reach out Jake by Instagram, and you can hit by the DM if you wanna ask some question. And yeah, thank you so much for coming to the class. And yeah, don't forget to fill the link that we will share in the groups, and share your feedback link to for our improvement of the class, you guys. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
See you in Thursday.
Thank you, everyone. Bye
We still have
bye.
a Thursday and Saturday. Don't forget to coming, yeah.
All right. Like,
Bye, everyone. Thank you.
Just please stay.
Bulu bulu.
Bulu bulu.
Thank you.
Thank you, Britzone, and thank
That's
you,
what I
Jack, as
said.
well.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
Jack,
Britzoners.
for
Bye.
the
So you know about it.
presentation. Thank you,
And
Jack. It's an honor to having
thank
you
you so
here.
much.
Bye-bye, YouTube.
Bye-bye, YouTube.
Bye-bye, YouTube.
Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye,
Bye now, everyone.
Tasha.
Bye, my boy, Gandhi.
So long, but I hit the sack again.
Sure.
Nice
All
one.
right, bye.